Hi everybody, it's Alyce-Kay Ruckelshaus from Threshold of Hineni, and today is July 28th. It's 2 weeks since my husband was killed in a car crash, and I'm just, sharing about my progress through all of this, and I'm honestly just doing it mostly for myself, but because I find that it's very therapeutic, but I'm hearing from people that it's being helpful to them, and that that makes me feel really good, and that makes me feel like I can't say that it would make it feel like it's worth losing my husband, but it feels like some good has come out of it, and it feels like it's not wasted. And so I really appreciate hearing that from you if this is helping you. Anyway, so yesterday I had shared about I don't know if I should call them visions or what. It's like this running thing over and over and over again, replaying of what my mind thinks happened to Bill. And it's just like, and it's completely imagination. It's not, I don't think it's, God showing me or anything like that. It's my mind. My mind is going crazy because I don't know what happened, and so it's just trying to take every little tiny detail that it can and fit those together and fill in everything that it doesn't know, and it's been seriously driving me crazy. So anyway, I posted about that on Facebook too, and you'll probably be seeing this like a week or two after I actually went through this, because sometimes I make several videos a day because I need to process, and I process the best when I feel like I'm sharing with somebody. I know that's really weird, but that's just how it is. And but I don't want to, like my subscribers, I don't want them to get like 5 videos a day and be completely overwhelmed. So I'm spacing these out. So anyway, so I shared about this on Facebook, and I've got a really supportive group of friends who are just helping me out so much. And one of the things that I very strongly believe is that just because we know something doesn't mean that it doesn't help to have people remind us of that. Because here's the thing, the more you know, the less you can hold in the front of your brain or wherever it is that those things happen. To me, I think of it as my front of my brain, but I don't know scientifically. Anyway, so, and especially if you're going through something like this, but even when I'm not going through something like this, I need people to remind me of the truths that I know, because I can't always remember all of them. And so, especially at a time like this, where I'm just like foggy and not feeling very well. And actually today I'm not foggy. I'm doing much better. But I think today I'm doing better than I have at all since the accident. So that's pretty good. I'm not saying that I am better, but I'm improving. This is the best that I've been. I'm still feeling a lot of signs and symptoms of depression, and but I'm not crying as much. And anyway, I'm starting to see hope, and I think that that's really good. I'm actually, I think, starting to feel maybe okay with the fact that I didn't die in the accident too. I haven't had any survivor's guilt, but I've wished that I had died with him, and I'm starting to not feel that way so much. So I think that's probably good. And I'm hungry. You guys, I'm really hungry. I haven't eaten dinner yet, and I really need to, but I really wanted to do this. And being hungry is a good thing, because I haven't been super hungry for a while. And in fact, 2 or 3 days after he died, I was telling Bill, because yes, I talked to him just like, apparently it's very normal. He doesn't answer. Nope. So I get to have this one-way conversation. Every woman's dream, to be able to just talk to their husband and not have any answers. Just kidding, really. We really do love to hear from our husbands. But anyway, I was telling him, honey, I'm going to be skinny because I can't eat, and you're going to be sorry that you left me because I'm going to be cute again. Anyway, all that to say, I'm starting to do better. I feel like I'm coming up out of that hole. I know that there's probably still a long trek ahead of me, and there's going to be bad times and everything, but I'm not feeling as horrible as I had been. So anyway, I shared about that whole thing with these running visions that I'm having. And a number of people shared some suggestions that I wanted to share with you because I think that they're really helpful. It's just been a day for me, and so I haven't been able to really implement all of these things yet. But I think that all of them are really good, and so I want to share them with you. So the first one, which probably seems really obvious, especially given that I've talked so much about how worship has helped me through this whole thing. But two of my friends, Julie and Bonnie, both told me you need to turn to worship. And I so appreciated being told that. They could have thought, oh, you know what, she's already worshiping so much, she knows she needs to do that. Apparently that's not working, or we don't want to insult her by telling her what she already knows. No, it did not insult me. I needed to hear that. I needed to be reminded of that. And so, yes, I'm worshiping, but I wasn't worshiping at the times that these things are happening. And so I think what I need to do, and I can't always do this, because if I'm talking to somebody like we're going to go see the troopers tomorrow, I will probably have this happen while I'm seeing the troopers, because we're going to be talking about the accident. And I can't just say, oh, excuse me, I need to go worship. So that's not going to work right then. But a lot of times when I'm having this happen, I could just stop and start singing, or I could go into my office, put on my headphones, sing at the top of my voice, because that really does cut out anything else. And it's not a form of denial. It is refocusing on what's the truth. And I'll talk about that some more in a minute. Okay, so then another thing, Susan, a friend of mine who lost her husband 2 or 3 years ago, and so she's really, really been through this, and she had a very close relationship with her husband too. She had several suggestions for me, and one of them was from 2 Corinthians 10:5, which is to take every thought captive. And so I wanted to look up this verse. I've talked about it a little bit in a previous video, but I couldn't remember the reference, so I didn't look it up at that time. And when I looked it up today, it really caught at me, because she was just talking about taking every thought captive. And so I hadn't thought about the beginning of that verse, but it says, we are destroying speculations. And you guys, that's what this whole thing is. It's my mind speculating. Okay, it's not even truth. And remember how I've talked about how I need to keep focused on what is true, not what is being thrown at me, not what the enemy's trying to say to me and everything. But this is just speculations. It's not true. Okay, so I need to destroy those speculations. And every lofty thing raised up against the knowledge of God. Now, that's not just talking about knowing about God. It's talking about knowing Him, having a personal, intimate relationship. And when we have worry and fear and doubt and things that are plaguing us like that, that's not from God. And those things keep us from being able to serve effectively and help other people and worship Him and everything. And so I need to come against those things. I need to practice whatever it takes to stop that, to destroy those things. And also recognizing that the reason that those things are probably happening, like several people pointed out to me, is because God's doing something through all this. Quite often when something big happens in our life, including really negative things, and probably most often negative things, God uses those things to do something powerful in our lives, and oftentimes to do something powerful through us. And so, of course, Satan doesn't like that. He wants to destroy that. He wants to destroy us. I'm not anybody special, you guys. He's out to get you too, especially if you're serving God. You just need to be aware of that. That's called spiritual warfare. And, and so this is spiritual warfare, destroying speculations and every lofty thing raised up against the knowledge of God. And we are taking every thought captive to the obedience of Christ. In other words, I have to stop and think about what I'm thinking. I need to say, okay, God, I don't seem to have any control over these visions that are coming, but they're obviously not from you, because they're causing fear and they're just. I mean, I was to the point yesterday where I felt like I might need to go to a doctor because these were so bad. And not that going to a doctor is bad, but you know what I mean. These were really bad. And, that's not what God wants for me. He doesn't want me to be in that place. And so, crying out to God and asking Him to help me to take those thoughts captive, and to, like I explained in a previous video, it's like I imagine these soldiers coming along and taking that that thought and sticking it in a trash can and putting the lid on and then bombing it, destroying it, and that goes back to worship, because I think it was Joyce Myers that I've heard say that we can't sing and worry at the same time. And I've tried it, you guys. You can't do that. They just don't go together. And so, so worshiping is a good way to take thoughts captive. But also another way is to really stop and think about, is this the truth? Which leads me to another thought, which is from my friend Felissa, and I'll come back to Susan's other things. But Felissa mentioned picturing Bill in perfect peace. Okay, what is the truth of where he is right now and what he's experiencing? I don't know what happened to him in his last moments. There's no way for me to know. And so I don't need to speculate on that. I don't need to focus on that. What I need to focus on is where he is right now, which is he's at the foot of God's throne, and he's experiencing perfect peace and contentment and love. And he's with Beth, who he really loved, and they're enjoying catching up, and and who knows who else he's getting to see, and I think he's probably watching me some too, because the Bible talks about how we have a great cloud of witnesses. And so I especially think he's watching me during my VIP kid classes, because he loved the fact that I was doing those, and of course he never got to see them, and so now he gets to see all the kids and everything, and so that's kind of cool. And he's probably explaining that to Beth and everything, and she probably would have loved that too. I can imagine her doing VIP Kid also. Anyway, so that was a pretty big thing. So Felissa talking about picturing Bill in perfect peace, which in psychological terms they call reframing. It's like taking something and reframing it, putting it into a different perspective, which is more true and more positive. Okay, so then also Susan had suggested praying in the Spirit, which of course I should be doing. I mean, that's something that should be a no-brainer to me, and I'm not upset at myself. Again, it's this whole thing of how we need each other to help us and to hold us up and to remind us of what we need to be doing. And so praying in the Spirit, of course, would really help. And then Susan gave me a couple more verses, and I want to end with these. The first one is Psalm 46:10. So Psalm 46:10. And Psalm 46:10 says, "Cease striving," or in some versions says, "Be still and know that I am God." Okay, and that is one of the hardest things for us as human beings, is to just sit still and cease striving, to stop fighting it and just know that God is God. And I have to remind myself of that with this whole thing, because I mean, if Bill was conscious, he was probably completely terrified in those last few moments, and I don't know if he experienced pain or not, but God was with him, and I don't doubt at all that the worship song that God had me playing and singing to right before I found out about Bill's accident was it was "The God of Angel Armies" by Chris Tomlin, I think. And it talks about, "I know who walks before me, I know who stands behind. The God of Angel Armies is always by my side." The God of Angel Armies was with Bill when he was going through that, and I have to remember that. And he's with me too. He's with me now. He was with me that day, and he's with us through these things. He doesn't stop these things from happening. Sometimes he does, but sometimes he doesn't. And when he doesn't, it's because he loves us, and because somehow this is going to be for our best. And I have to go back to that. I have to trust that. I remember when this first happened, the thing that just came to me so strongly was something that I teach, and it's like, okay, do you really believe what you teach now here? And it's this, that God was not surprised by this. He knew it was going to happen. He has the power to stop it, but he chose not to. He loves me and he loves Bill. And so I have to trust that he chose not to stop that because he loves us, and that somehow this is working out for our best and for his glory. And I just have to hold on to that. What God showed me was holding on to it like a pole in a hurricane. I'm getting blown all over the place. Well, that's what I need to go back and hold on to. And so I really appreciated Susan reminding me of that. And then to kind of close, we had looked at these verses the other day. We had looked at verses 6 and 7, but now we're going to look at Philippians 4:8. And we had talked about how I need to not be anxious for anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let my requests be made known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all comprehension, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Okay, then Paul goes on to talk about it, and I had said, we'll look at this another time later. Well, I never came back to it, but Susan brought me back to it. Okay, so finally, brethren, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is of good repute, if there is any excellence, and if anything worthy of praise, dwell on these things. Okay, and so dwelling on these speculations about what might have happened to my husband during those last moments of his life isn't any of these things. It's not true, it's not honorable, it's not right, it's not pure, it's not lovely, it's not of good repute, there's no excellence, there's nothing worthy of praise, so I shouldn't be dwelling on those things, and I instead need to dwell on things that fit these descriptions. God, of course, is the ultimate person who fits this description, but I can also think about the memories that I've been having from our marriage, the wonderful, wonderful memories, because we had an amazing marriage. Honestly, I think that it was the best marriage of any marriage that I know. It was only for 4.5 years, so I know some of you who've had longer marriages might have had more turmoil, and also we were older, and I think, you're more mature, so you don't have so many problems. But we went through our fair share of trouble, and and there were times that we said to each other, we have to choose to pull together right now rather than letting these troubles tear us apart. And again, I think that a lot of that was because of, our age. So, we both had a lot of experience, and Bill especially. He was older than me. He was 20 years older than me, so he had a lot more experience, but he had also been in a really long, really good marriage before. And so he had a lot of that experience to draw on too. And so just being able to remember things about our marriage and thinking about the things that Bill invested in me as a person, as his wife, but as a person too, that I can carry on. Focusing on those things, which is one of the things that I've done a lot of today. And I haven't been having those visions as much. I think that is carrying out this verse, Philippians 4:8. So anyway, I just wanted to share those ideas with you because as I've shared that I was having this experience, a number of people said that they had that kind of experience too. So it sounds like it's fairly common, and so I wanted to share what's been helping me. And some of these things I haven't really done yet, but some I have, especially, like I said, focusing on what Bill deposited in me, what he invested in me, that has helped still those or put them farther back in the background so that they're not plaguing me so much. And as a result, today really has been my best day since, I can't yet say that I'm having good days. I just can't say that yet. I'm not there yet, but it's been the best. And I'm really, really grateful for that. And that's it. So anyway, just wanted to share that. And I love you all. And I will talk to you again soon. Oh, by the way, I'm feeling less and less need to do this. I'm sure that I'm still going to have to do this quite a bit. And it'll probably go on for quite a long time. I mean, I think now we're on the 15th or 18th or something like that. I don't remember. It'll probably go up to 100 and something from what I'm told about what you go through when you're grieving somebody like this. This will go on for quite a while, but I'm not feeling like I need to do this as often. And I am feeling like I really, really need to get into the Word And so probably by the time that you see this, actually, I'll have recorded a few of the inductive Bible study that I'm going to start doing on here in First Peter. And so if you've missed that and you want to see that, you can just go back and find them. It's got my pictures for that are like a blue with a blue, lighter blue border, an aqua kind of border. And so you'll see those, First Peter. And if you can't find it, just say something below and I'll put a link. Okay, I love you all. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.